Radhe Radhe. Radhe Shyam. So you're asking a question about bhajana kriya. In bhajana kriya, because from bhajana kriya, there's an artha-nivritti, going to nishta. So in this bhajana kriya, it said there's 6 types of anishtita bhajan. Vishnu Chakravarti is telling in Madhurya Kadambini, Utsahamai, Ganatarala, Vyuravikalp, Vishaya Sangraha, Niyamakshama, Taranga Rangani. So we can see, and the question is, how does one pass from one level to the next? So, Utsahamai. Utsahamai means the initial enthusiasm, right? You're enthusiastic. Well, the whole idea, we just take them one at a one. Utsahamai means being filled with excitement. It's something new, it's something different. But the idea is that if you only have enthusiasm at the beginning and don't sustain your enthusiasm, then it becomes anishtita. One of the causes of being anishtita, not steady in bhajan, is you lose your enthusiasm. So you lose your enthusiasm to chant or to read, etc. So that these particular aspects, I don't think that you're going, because it doesn't explain it, I don't think you're passing from one to the other. It's not like it begins, it says Utsahamai, but it isn't, there's not a progression, Utsahamai to Taranga Rangani. Because at any stage, any of these six forms, any of these 6 forms of anishtita bhajan, beginning enthusiasm, and then it's simultaneously intense and thick and thin bhakti, intense and unsteady practice. These are all kind of happening simultaneously. Because your enthusiasm, initially you're enthusiastic, then your enthusiasm wanes, then your practices become less intense, and that's ganatarala. Gana means thick, and tarala means like a wave. It's just small, thin. So then after that, then it's vira vikalpa. So that can happen at any time. After you've been practicing bhakti for 1 year, after you're practicing bhakti for 15 years. Vyuta means war. Vikalpa means a war with sankalpa vikalpa, a war with accepting or rejecting. It's a battle, it's a conflict. Should I accept, should I reject? The battle, I'm fighting between 2 sides of my mind. So I'm married 5 years. Oh, maybe I live alone in Vrindavan and do bhajan, so I leave my family. No, I should stay with my family till my kids get married. No, but then I'll be too old. So that can happen anytime. So it's not these are independent stages that are simultaneously, they've been going on. That's the third one. Then the next one is Vishaya Sangara. Vishaya Sangara. This means struggling with the senses, battling with sense gratification. So, in other words, we're not controlling our senses. So we try to do good bhakti, but then we slip into sense gratification, eating too much, or overeating mostly. And then sometimes we win, sometimes we lose. That's the fourth one. And the fifth one is inability, niyamakshama. Niyam akshama means the inability to uphold or keep your vows. So someone may be following the four principles of Krishna Bhakti for many, many years. And then somehow he enters some bad stars, or he maybe makes some offense, or somehow he loses a taste. And then he may go into hard times and have difficulty where he can't seem to control his senses at all. We see many devotees, 10, 15 years, they're very good devotees. Then all of a sudden they bloop. We say they bloop, or they fall down. So they were steady. They were in control of their senses for 15 years. But then this thing came up where they couldn't keep their vows somehow, even though they were keeping for so many years. Then they fall away. Because of prarabdha karma, some unfinished karma is still within them, and somehow it again fructified. So that's the fifth one. And the sixth one is Taranga Rangani. Taranga means waves, and Rangani means to delight or to enjoy. So that can come in any time. A new bhakta who happens to be a good musician, and he's a very good musician, and he just joins, and then he's a very good mridanga player, a very good harmonium player and singer. So then the temple is always bringing him to all the pandal programs and to all the house programs. Here you sing, you sing nice bhajans. So then people start asking him, can you come? He starts getting famous, and maybe he gets donations. Just so that can come right in the beginning. It's not like at the end of bhajan, before you give up, before you pass through an artha-nivritti and become nishta, you can get involved with this last point at any time. Someone might be 20 years a devotee, and they're practicing. They've controlled their senses. They're very enthusiastic. All these other things they have. They're fixed in following their principles. They're fully controlling their senses. They're very enthusiastic. They're not battling with the senses. They're fixed in their ashram. They're not thinking, I should take sannyas, I should take grihastha. They're fixed. Everything's fixed. But then, after 10 or 15 years of very good bhajan or bhakti, then Krishna may test them. They become famous. And when that fame comes, then they say, I'm big this, I'm big that. Yeah, fly me first class. You want me to come to South America? I have to fly first class. I'm going to Delhi. I have to stay in a big fancy hotel. Oberoi, Hyatt Regency. Because now I'm a big guru, a big sannyasi. So that's called... So even though everything else is there, bhajan is steady, even he's some nishchitam bhakti, there's still not complete, not full nishta, because he's enjoying the bhakti taranga, taranga rangani. So your question whether there's a transition from one to the other, I would say no, from what I can understand. I haven't seen this topic. But it's they can all appear or disappear at different times in one's life. Obviously, when one is... So, that means, if that's still there, that's an anartha. These are all types of anarthas. So someone might be a very quote-unquote senior devotee, but he's still not actually... Nishta is not a small thing. So, before Nishta is anartha-nivritti. So, bhajana kriya and anartha-nivritti are going together. The bhajan, anartha-nivritti is the condition of being free from unwanted things. Anartha-nivritti, that's the stage. But to get to that stage, you have to do bhajan. Right? So bhajan removes the anarthas and the aparads, and then you become nishta, and you still do bhajan. Nishchita bhajan, then ruchi bhajan, then bhava bhajan, then prem bhajan. So bhajan is continuous. Guru is continuous, sarvasanga. And faith is continuous. Ado shara tata sarvasanga bhajana kriya. So there's Shraddha, Sadhusanga, which means Shiksha Diksha Guru. Ado Shraddha Tata Sadhusanga Bhajan Kriya. Then there's Bhajan. All these three go all the way through to Prema. Faith. Faith gets deeper and stronger. Sadhusanga becomes higher class Sadhusanga and better Shiksha and Guru Kripa. And then Bhajan. Bhajan goes all the way to Prem. Then it's Prem Bhajan. As you look at these, you can find, oh, this devotee is controlling his senses. He's fixed in his ashram. He's not fighting with the senses. He's following all the principles. He's very enthusiastic. But he's enjoying. Pratishta, recognition, honor. Or just, oh, Guru Maharaj, take big feast at our house. No, I just take some fruits. No, we cook this for you. Okay. Guru has no disciples or 1 million disciples. He should still eat the same. Vachramegam, Manasukota Begam. He's yogi. Guru is a yogi. So there's some bogey coming in. So that is very hard to judge. We can't look at someone and say, oh, you're this person. We can't judge another person. So I see these are not that we should be aware of these things. It's not like a linear progress. I mean, everything in bhakti or devotion is not linear. Linear means going in a line, Step 1, go 5 feet forward, then step 2, then 5 feet forward, step 3. The progress is, it goes, you're going in a circle, and you're going back, and then another circle and back. The progress is a change of consciousness. It's a change of consciousness, a change of heart, a change of outlook. These are all very subtle things. We say purification of consciousness. Cheto darpana marjanam. Chit darpana marjanam. So consciousness is formless. It's chit, it's formless. This body, this room, this house, this street, it all has form, length and width and depth. But spiritual progress is amorphous. We have some idea. These are words and terms to give us some idea about increments or changes in consciousness. It's not linear. Okay, utsahamai, initial enthusiasm, and then it wanes. It's considered that this is a symptom of anishtita bhakti if it wanes. If it diminishes, decreases. Because when Rupa Goswami in Upadeshamrita is giving the characteristics of the devotee, he says, first thing he says, what does he say? Utsaha Nishchaya. He says, Utsaha Nishchaya Dayat. First thing he says, these are the six qualities that you need to be a good devotee. Confidence and hope and steadiness and enthusiasm. Utsaha Nishchayat Daryat. So these are different experiences, or let's say stages of the consciousness as the consciousness is becoming purified. You're steady, you're enthusiastic, you're pure, you're strict. You're free from desire to enjoy. They call this bhajana kriya. Then there's an artha-nivritti. An artha-nivritti. But then when you see the next stage, what he calls stages, an artha-nivritti, is also overlapping with the other one. I would say this bhajana kriya, what he's describing here, these are all attitudes, mental attitudes. These are all feelings and attitudes. Attitudes and feelings. Utsahamai ganatarala vyuravikalpa niya makshama tarangarangani. It's talking about the mind. It's about the mind and the heart, the feelings of the heart, or the weakness of the mind, or the strength of the mind. To leave that grihastha ashram, become a sannyasi, that's a battle of the mind. So now, when he gets into anartha nivritti, he starts talking about anarthas and aparads. These are actual qualities and actions. Like seva aparads. And anyway, I haven't read the book in a long time. But basically we do bhakti bhajan. Even because this book came out, some 1700s or 1750 or whatever. But since time immemorial, devotees have been doing bhajan. As far as Gaudiya Vaishnavas, everyone was doing bhajan for 200 years before this book, Madhurya Kadambini, came out with such a very minute analysis of bhajan. So then, if they didn't have this book, they wouldn't even be dealing with all these questions that you're asking, and all these different divisions and sections, because I don't see them described in such minute detail in other places. This is subjective presentation and analysis, a very in-depth and very clear analysis of Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur.